Not gonna lie, I'm kind of out of it. I'm on a bit of medication beyond what I'm normally on for my arthritis in my back and my knees, and so here's the deal. I went to the ER twice in 24 hours. Excuse my bad filming, man. I looked at that last update, that last live update, and it was just shaky camera the whole time. Sorry for that, but yeah, a cat got a hold of me and bit me right through my wrist there. There's one puncture wound, and there's another. And yeah, it's pretty nasty. We marked the area when I was in the ER this morning, the swelling and redness, and trying to watch that, make sure it doesn't get worse, really. And it's just really stiff and really painful. So, you know, it is what it is. Things happen. The cat's a great cat. He was feral before the Humane Society got him, and then he got adopted really soon after that by my next door neighbor. And the neighbor's in the hospital for a while, unfortunately, so we were taking care of the cat, and it's like, hey, you should come upstairs and eat more food because you're really skinny. And he was like, don't hold me. Like, bit the crud out of me. But, you know, he's a cat. I should have been more careful. Whatever. I don't really care. Anyway, now my arm's all screwed up. My lymph nodes are swelling, and well, actually, I can kind of see it. Or maybe I'm just getting fat. But I wanted to give you guys an update. I figured I'd be pretty transparent about what's going on in my life with this vlog, this video blog. Not just be like, check out how great my life is. I'm doing good in school, and my business is going well, and look how good I am at doing this and that. My house is a mess right now, and I'm like half whacked out on drugs, so drugs for my medication. I shouldn't say drugs. But anyway, yeah, that's my bit of transparency for the day. And then I want to show you guys what's going on here with the sort of bonsai that I started, or it will be, I suppose. So I looked at the buds, and they have grown. Look at this; these things are just going crazy, and it looks like they actually are vegetative buds, or at least most of them, and that they are not floral, flower-producing buds. I pointed at these at the ends here, and I did not tell you what they were. They're called terminal buds, as opposed to, well, these are kind of all almost in a way terminal. Okay, so like that's a terminal bud. These are auxiliary buds here, right? I'm gonna hear it from my professor if I got that wrong, but yeah, terminal buds are the ones that are at the end of the growth. So here, like at the ends here, there's not a terminal bud. Yeah. So there's that. It looks vegetative. That's okay. I'll let it grow a little bit, see what happens, let it leaf out. I do see a bit of auxiliary budding going on, so like if I can get it zoom in, see that little guy there, and then there's one right here, and yeah, I've got some going on here. I'm gonna let this thing leaf out before I decide to wire it. I have an idea of what I want to do with the structure, but I kind of want to see it leaf out. I want to see this spring growth, and I want to see if it causes the tree to grow really big, or if it's just going to leaf a lot. If it's just going to produce a lot of leaves. And if it produces a lot of leaves, then I can go from there, and I can just shape it for the most part. But if it produces a lot of internodes, and then leaves on that, then I'm going to have to be a little more cautious about how I cut it back. Ouch. Oh, that darn arm of mine is just killing me. Who don't know who's calling me. Somebody's calling me. It says Coolie Queen. I'm guessing that that's Francesca's mom I just hung up on. Oh man, I hope not. I'll call her back and see if that was her. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Or maybe she can leave a message. Just get rid of that so it doesn't rot. Yeah, so we're composting everything that doesn't work out or that we use up, because we want to either reuse or compost everything that we have. Now, I stated that before, but I wanted to make it obvious, or I wanted to be very transparent with you guys. Like I said, here's some plastic. Clearly, we're not going to reuse. I mean, not likely to reuse that, and it's not compostable, not for like 10,000 years or whatever they say plastic takes to decompose. But it is recyclable, so we'll be recycling that. But anyway, we're gonna have zero waste product so long as it is, or excuse me, zero trash waste product. So long as whatever we have is reusable or recyclable or compostable. So here is the kind of blackout conditions that I created about, what was this? 24, but I don't know, 36 hours ago, I think. Ouch. It is so hard to use just my right hand, especially when like my left arm isn't like broken or anything, so I can still kind of use my hand, and then I end up hurting it. Oh. But anyway, so we're gonna look underneath this tray, and we're gonna look at the seeds and see what they look like. But I gotta set you guys down, so sorry for that. Here you go. I will. Let's see if I can get. Get that, because I have holes in there. There's the light bulb. Alright, let me finagle this off with my one usable hand. Ho, ho. I see fields of green. Ready for this? Da-da-da-da! Whew, those root hairs. Okay. Wow, that that was quick. It was very quick. It's looking good. I mean, the basil's going to take a little longer, and the sunflowers usually take a little while to get going. This looks really good. Really healthy crop. A couple of density issues over here with the basil seeds, and I'm going to say that that's because of a little bit of waviness in the matting. But there was I actually soaked the coconut coir matting in hydrogen peroxide, like a 20% hydrogen peroxide solution, and then I put the seeds on there, and then put some more water in here because it's 20% hydrogen peroxide, 80% water, and then I put some more water in here, just enough to come up just above the mat a little bit, just to get the seeds nice and wet so they would germinate. And what was I going to say? Oh, and then I took my 10% hydrogen peroxide solution and sprayed it on top of the seeds pretty well. Now, like I said, with sunflowers, you're always going to have a little tiny bit of mold on there. It just happens to be spores that are on these. Like this one here is pretty. Whoop, if I can get it to. Oh, I crushed it. You can't see it now. It was all fuzzy with mold. But here's the thing: I'm not gonna throw that out. It's not a bad batch. That is just what happens. I mean, that's the culture that's already on the seeds. It's not because that culture exists in my grow room and my grow room's not clean or anything like that. So what we do is we just take our hydrogen peroxide solution and carefully, because I don't want to destroy the root hairs on these radish, I'm just going to carefully make sure that the seeds get covered well with the 10% solution. Once again, hydrogen peroxide's not dangerous at all. But you can see now, Well, you might be able to see. See how it's kind of foaming right there? It's reacting with that mold. And it's going to kill that mold. And then we have a healthy crop. Just be careful with that. You can tell that the seed density went up. You know, our last little crop down here was a little different. Work things out a little differently. We're trying for minimum seed density. Now we're trying for expected seed density. I'm making sure there's plenty of this solution on here. Won't kill the roots. I mean, it kind of affects the root hairs. They're pretty delicate. Yeah, they're pretty delicate. I'll just leave it at that. It's a little more complicated, but once again, this isn't mold. This is root hairs. These are root hairs, not this is. This isn't mold. These are root hairs. They are purely for increasing the surface area of the root so that it can absorb more nutrients and water. So that's good. And you know, I think that I'm going to give these a little bit more time underground, simulated underground. So we'll go ahead and give you guys this view back. I'm going to put the material back over here. This is once again weed barrier. All right, turn that fan off again. There we go. Oh, it's like definitely silent in here. Kind of eerily silent. There we go. Oh my gosh. My dog's upstairs. My dog's upstairs from here. Still got my... Like I said, I was in the ER earlier. All three of my dogs are upstairs. And Jessie, the female St. Bernard, I can hear her if you listen. That right there. There it is. I know what she's doing. She's at the threshold of the door, and she's like snorting like that's what she does when she wants out. Such a goofball. Alright, we'll get this tray back on here. Thank God I can do this with one hand. Thank you, God. Alright, there we go. And that's it. That is it for the update on those seeds. These are looking gorgeous. These are basil. You can see now they're approaching about an inch tall. Some of them here, and all of them turned out perfect. Where did I just drop that? Here it is. Yeah, it's just kind of cotyledons like dried up. Didn't really do what I want it to do. Got a good amount of water underneath the pad, so that's staying wet. Arugula looks fine. We're getting first true leaves on the arugula, finally. This is the first batch. See right there? See the first true leaves? Now I'm going to taste that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to taste just the true leaves. Okay. And excuse me, I'm not. I'm just like my hair's all messed up. I'm in sweats. Man, I'm sick. I really am sick. Oh, this infection, by the way, is called cat scratch disease. Go figure. More like a cat bite disease. Man, that cat, I could feel him when he bit me. I could feel his teeth. His tooth was like rubbing against the bone there. Against here. Okay, here's that true leaf. I want to taste the difference. I want to see if it's a little bitter or sour. It tastes more planty. Almost has like a tiny little bit of... I don't know how to explain it other than kind of a tomato taste. Yeah. It's getting a little bit of a planty taste to it. Like, when you go out into the garden, if you guys have ever gone out into a garden, and there's those little, not little, those big old green caterpillars that like to eat away at your tomatoes, and then the smell that's released as they're biting through the tomatoes, that smell, when you smell that, it triggers a taste as well, because smell and taste is so closely related. And the taste that you get in your mouth from that smell is the taste that I get from this. Just, I mean, and I'm talking like just the first true leaves, if you snip that off of from above the cotyledon, on that early stem, it's not bad, honestly. It does not taste like fully grown arugula, and it does not taste like baby green arugula, and it does not taste like these microgreen arugulas. Now, if I just eat just arugula, just the baby green, microgreen arugulas, they're immediately, you don't even have to bite into it. Buttery, a little bit of peppery. I've said this before. I love them. They're really good. That is a daikon radish. Yep. Oh, that little sucker got there. But anyway, what I need to do with this now, let's see if I can give you guys a view. Oh, there we go. I'm going to set this to, ow, one-handed, there we go. Set this to mist. You guys can see that, not sure. And keeping the tops of the greens wet. This is pretty essential. This is about as important as watering. Switch it over to shower with just a little bit of fresh water. So what that does is it allows the tops of the microgreens to stay moist, and then they're able to continue to grow, and the cotyledons will not wither away and shrink, and they won't necessarily be at least by water conditions, they won't be influenced. That's not the word I want to use, but it's good enough. They won't be influenced to necessarily grow their first true leaves. And we kind of want to keep them at this cotyledon stage here. But we also want them to grow a little tall. Not very tall, but taller, you know, like up to the height of the pan or so, because then the customer gets more out of it. We also have to look at it as how fast will they grow. Like if in the first week, let's say in the first 2 weeks they grow this tall, the basil grows this tall, but it takes 3 more weeks to grow the next inch, to get to 2 inches instead of 1 inch. Well then, we don't want to grow them to another inch. It's a better value over time, or excuse me, it's a lower cost over time for us, and a better value and a quicker return for the restaurants that we deliver these to, if we just sell them at 1 inch tall. Speaking of, I'm going to actually grab a reasonable chunk of these now. And once again, you can just eat the roots of these along with the rest of it. Nom nom nom. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's pretty incredible. And the seed, the seed like skin, the husk is kind of still attached here and there, so it's kind of peppery. The flavor is basil-y, but not like overwhelming basil flavor. Very good. It's a nice mild basil flavor. That'd be a lovely accent to something green like a salad. But it would also do great on like a margherita pizza, where it's typically just sauce, fresh mozzarella di bufala, and then basil on top. But This time it would be, you know, you'd add the microgreens, the basil microgreens instead. That's really good. I am super happy with that. I think actually this is a very good stage to sell at the market, or, well, however you sell. If you want to sell it retail, you want to sell it to the restaurants. I think this is a good stage for basil, right here. We keep growing it, it might lose some flavor, unless you start using, you know, some kind of fertilizer in your water. And once again, this is like gross looking muck in here. It's not gross at all. It's a little bit of decomposition from the the coconut coir matting. Because we don't rinse these clean or anything first, because we know that this right here is not, there's nothing wrong with that. That's not dangerous at all. I mean, compare that to soil. This isn't dirty. Clearly, I can just, like I said, I can just take that right out of there and eat the root. It is perfectly clean. And here's the other cool thing, though. Let's say that you didn't want to. You didn't want to take it right out of there. We don't have to clean the whole tray every time, you know, you want to get microgreens. You don't have to pick the whole lot. You can take what you need. Excuse me. And then take it over to the sink. Rinse it off, if you're that worried about it, which you shouldn't be. And then there you go. Clean, fresh greens. Ready to go. Tasty. Very tasty. I love that arugula. Alright, next part of the update. Probably boring you to death by now, unless you're here for that. These are... There's dog hair everywhere. Can't seem to get it off my clothes. These are lemon trees. Well, they will be. More like lemon sprouts now. But I have 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. They're kind of competing right now. If I could maybe... Oop, sorry. Move them over a little bit from each other or something. There we go. Yep. And these are not just any lemon. These are Myers lemons. If you don't know what those are, I encourage you to just go look them up. They are so delicious. They're doing well. Soil's still damp. So my soil is, here's my little checking spot, is damp, but my moss is not great. Here's what I'm going to do with that. I'm going to take that hydrogen peroxide solution. I'm going to give it a quick spray. Carefully. I'm going to make sure that there's no mold that's going to compete with that moss. Then, I'm going to, because it's still moist, I don't want to drown out these roots. I'm going to put this on the mist setting, and then rinse that hydrogen peroxide off. And there you go. That is going to hopefully ensure that this moss stays nice and moist. Needs to be wet. Sorry for those of you who don't like the word moist. Look at that. Little mature bits of moss. Okay. That is, that's it. Ooh, that's beautiful. I love that. Get that out of the way so it gets some good light. That's it, guys. Join me again. I think it's gonna be, since I hurt my arm, I haven't been working as much with my partner Daniel on getting the business up and running. I know it's been a little while coming, but hang in there. We're gonna get this done. You're gonna see more grow towers in here. All right, that's exciting. You're gonna see another tower that's not for growing. It's just gonna hold tons and tons and tons of seeds. Well, maybe not literally tons. We're going to get a humidifier in here, not just a dehumidifier. And do some patching up on the plastic down around the edge here so that we can better control humidity and such. And we might even get some Mylar sheeting to go, ooh, Mylar, to go on here. Mylar is the same thing as space blankets, and it is highly reflective. and it blocks out, I don't know what percentage, I don't remember, but a very high percentage of the infrared heat. So we can kind of get this wanky janky looking, but it works really well. Plastic and tape. I mean, it'll still be there, but we're going to cover it up with that Mylar. Ouch. Oh, that arm of mine. Yeah, and we'll get this room looking a little bit more professional, if you will. I mean, it's great. This is it's great. This is how you do it for sure. The insulation and the plastic sheeting, but yeah, it's not completely ideal. Our floor, for instance, does not contain water or moisture rather, and it does not contain heat. So it is what's the term I'm looking for? Sorry. Is not insulated. Duh, that's the word. Our door is currently not insulated. Currently. Might put some Mylar on there. That should help a little bit. Or just put a sheet that hangs over here. So you open the door and then move the sheet aside to come inside. But it is still fairly... there's a word I want to use. Fairly... Well, we know that it's accurately holding the temperature. It's not accurately holding humidity. But you know what? That's okay, because this was kind of our first go. We had these materials, a lot of it, so we just kind of wanted to use them and get going on the grow room. But our next grow room will be a bit bigger than this, and it will have Mylar and then canvas that's held together with a kind of like a tent-like structure. With poles that run along the corners and the edges and such. So that'll be completely sealed. The floor will all be the same thing, Mylar, and then insulated canvas. So yeah, we're really excited about that. That's just gonna go right next to this grow room. But first we're gonna patch this one up a little bit more. And then we are going to expand our operations in this grow room to have a few more towers. And we're super excited, and super excited to have you along with us. If you guys want to help us expand, help us grow, see some of what our intentions are with this business beyond just selling microgreens. We want to do a lot of good in the local community, and then hopefully on a global scale eventually. You know, move up. We'll move up. We have a lot of plans, and we would really appreciate your support. So if you want to go check out our Patreon page, that would be absolutely wonderful. Once again, these are just seed husks. Don't worry about that. I took the sunflowers out of there. Oh, it's so dirty looking. Well, it's not soil, so it's pretty clean. I got a couple comments. From friends of mine who were like, oh man, I don't know, that doesn't look very clean. It's kind of like gross. And I'm like, well, no, it's not. Like I said, this is just a little bit of the decomposed matting. And, you know, it's brown, so it looks like it stains, but it doesn't. Oops, sorry. You don't see what I'm doing over here. It just scratches right off. There's nothing wrong with that. It's totally beyond clean. This is way cleaner than growing in soil. And then, of course, we don't have all the contaminants, bacteria, and other things that live outside do not live in this grow room. And especially when we get a little bit more patching done in here. And, you know, I'm totally cool with being transparent with you. This is like a temporary built room. It's not 2x4s, it's 1x2s. They are, here's the insulation is not covered on the outside. It's a temporary room. And that's, we built it that way on purpose because this is our beginning system. But we really have a lot of research going into much more professional equipment. We're really adamant about and sure of ourselves when it comes to growing in these pans. Clearly, it works great, but we need your help. We need your support to move forward, to switch over to LED light strips. So they're low profile, so we can have twice as many racks in the same amount of space. It goes from 4 to 8. And so that we can purchase all kinds of seeds to sell, so we can have the largest selection. We are going to have the largest selection. One way or another, we're going to get the money, but we're going to have the largest selection of microgreens available, rather than the, 4 test seeds that we have right now. Ow, ow, ow. Oh, that arm of mine. And, yeah, we have a filtration system hooked up to our water, but we would like to expand that. And, we wanted to have humble beginnings, so we could look back and be like, hey, look, we're like Microsoft. We started in a garage. We're like Apple. We're like these Silicon Valley startups, they're just like, yeah, well, I was building a car in my garage one day, and I thought, hey, I could sell these, and then I did, and so that's kind of how we wanted to start. But we've been getting wow, I've totally been holding this sideways. I'm sorry. I've been getting a lot of comments about that doesn't seem very professional and blah blah blah, and it's like, well, most small businesses don't start off with the best technology, the highest technology. But we really do have everything covered, from humidity to clean water systems to proper growth cycles, and automated lighting and automated heating. Everything in here is automated, and we're really proud of the system that we've built. So, just in defense of what we've been doing, I'm really not ashamed at all of what we're doing here, and I'm looking forward to becoming more professional about our work. So if you want to support us, check out our Patreon page. We'll put it in the link down below. We are going to use the funds to do all kinds of things. We're going to buy better equipment, camera equipment, get ourselves a stabilizer so you're not looking at this all the time, and it'll automatically adapt to the lighting a little better. And ouch, we'll get more high definition. We're going to switch over eventually to at least 4K cameras. 8K is going to require some better computing, so we're not sure if we want to go to that level or if it's really necessary, because it's not. Yeah, so we're looking forward to expanding, looking forward to having more space. And then the other thing is we need a processing room. I mean, we can process a minimal amount of greens here, but it's kind of goofy. It involves taking the heater and moving it aside, and then using this to put our cling film over our pans, which, no matter how professional we get, that's going to be the same thing. But and it's just kind of, we have a little space to do that on, but we want to. We want a room at least this big that's just a table, so that we can bring microgreens in and give them one final rinse, and professionally have everything ready to go and have them marked. We need more funds so that we can get a labeler, a label maker, I guess, and to get one that's that can do barcodes would be great, so we can put the type of stickers that you can peel off of plastic later. We want to put those on there with the barcode, so that way we can quickly process our orders for the restaurants that we sell to. And yeah, we want to get a lot of technology involved and a lot of automation involved, so that we are able to efficiently run the business. We're not putting as many man hours into the hard work, and instead we're putting a lot more man hours, because we'll still put them in, but this way we can put more man hours into management, into delegation, into the bookkeeping, into what was the word I want? Well, working smarter. That's kind of where I wanted to go with this. I want to put more man hours into working smarter, not into working harder. We're still going to work harder. What else? I guess this video is getting kind of long, so I'll just end it. Thanks for joining me in the grow room. Thanks for putting up with my vlog portion of this. And I look forward to seeing you guys later. And I hope that you guys look forward to seeing the evolution of what we're doing in here and how we want to switch over to all these great professional materials. Thanks for joining me, and God bless.